make sure I can see you. Yeah, you look a little cold, Mark.
That is a false impression you're getting here. Just bundled up.
For the aesthetics.
For the aesthetics.
For the vibe.
Purely to show you what Heather Brett's and Cashmere was made for. A touristy boat trip on Lake Como.
Yeah.
What about you?
What
are you wearing today?
Hey Mitch, what are you wearing today? I'm wearing a twin trek from Private White, Uniqlo, because I got stranded in Amsterdam last year this time.
Nice high-low, yeah.
It's all that was opened.
Yeah.
I have a Loro Piana baby cashmere underneath because I don't currently own Acciatura. But that's going to change, I think, like tonight.
It should.
Yeah. I have a new Peplor bag, which I actually really like. This is the rucksack carrying bag of the day. We have 45 minutes on this lovely trek to Bellagio on Como.
We're leaving from Varenna. We're going to visit Como tomorrow.
I thought you might have some thoughts on Pitti Uomo. Any reflections?
Any reflections? The 50 Shades of Beige reign supreme.
Yeah.
With speckles of blue and gray to complement the dark tones.
Seasonal colorways, of course.
Yes. The only seasonal color I really spotted was green, coincidentally.
From
like
whom?
the seats here at Keaton.
And Cucinelli.
And pretty much everybody else had some sort of green. That was the only one that everybody seemed to have honed in on.
Turns out forecasting is alive and well.
Oh yes, but I'm sure someone in an agency who gets much more money for this is going to come up with a different color, as will Pantone. So don't take our word for it, pay for the research.
I hear the Pantone color of the year was it white?
Cloud white, yes. Many hard political feelings on this from the American viewership.
So every year we complain that Pitti is always the same. Anything new to bitch about?
I generally liked that I want to bitch about?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I want to say something nice, actually.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed the China Wave Pavilion because there was a jacket that there will be a video of on my channels that has a massaging and heating function. 3 steps of heating, 1 level of massage intensity. It's machine washable and has an inflatable neck pillow. So if you're traveling, that might be the jacket for you. It's not slated to release until 2027.
Okay.
But when it does, I already have someone who is willing to plug and ship this out of China, because that's the only country where the company is active and currently distributed. In terms of bitching about, you are much better with words than I am, so I'll return the question. What do you have to bitch about, Joshua?
I am better at bitching. Is this our destination?
That does not mean that you are excused from bitching about what you saw at Pitti this year.
Bitching about what I saw at Pitti. I felt like the vibe was down. It was lower energy. Yes. I don't know if people are disinterested. If you like Jenny Walton, forgot that men's fashion week was even happening. There just wasn't. I mean, it's a Cucinelli rinse and repeat kind of wherever you look with all the Italian brands, in my opinion, aesthetically. Yep. To your beige and white comment a little bit earlier. I don't know. I personally, I'm wondering. So, Elite always try and distance themselves, and for a long time that happened with Muted. But before that, there was a whole age of very colorful things. Being the foundation of wealth and passion, showing off. I was looking for brands that I thought balanced quality, which I think we still want, yes. But with a certain level of ostentatiousness or exemplified wealth. And I really didn't see that much. Most of what I saw was still a caricature or cosplay. So I think maybe the trend is ending on the shades of beige, but I haven't found who's going to dominate that space just yet. That's what I was looking for. I didn't see it.
I have a very firm and documented prediction on this, and it's going to go all back to the sort of what the Japanese dominate currently, workwear and reproduction of military-inspired apparel. There were quite a few brands on the ground floor of the main pavilion that had sort of leather jacket, like aviator jackets. They had fatigue pants, they had cargo pants, they had relatively durable t-shirts and sweaters, but all in those military colorways and shades.
Yeah.
And so, considering that even Cucinelli is going back to cargo pants for the fall-winter season, this might be an early indication that we're all going to wear more simpler constructed garments with more sturdy materials that are being used and more sturdy construction techniques that are not as refined and also cheaper to produce.
You know, I'm really only interested in, I don't know, I hate to say like wealthy fashion. I need a better word for wealthy fashion, but like what's on the leading edge, because it's what's going to follow, right? And most of my clients are more interested in, some are interested in self-expression, and a lot are interested purely in checking the box for, social expectations because they have to, and they want to outsource that part of their lives. Taylor Swift sort of reignited the interest in old mine diamonds, right? Mm-hmm. There was an idea that taste doesn't buy new, it values something that's existed for a long time. I think that kind of speaks to your idea just then, that the cultural consciousness might reshift to true rarity, vintage things that are harder to come by. The Japanese did this, obviously, with recreations, reproductions, with some archival intent as well. So yeah, maybe that's the next. Maybe it's not, a rebirth of a etro-Missoni age, much to our chagrin. Maybe it really is a wider rekindling of vintage.
Yep.
I don't know. I know that Pitti skews more conservative, obviously, as opposed to like Milan Fashion Week explores new and interesting silhouettes. But I view Pitti for a barometer of adoption. Yeah. So the laboratory is here in Milan. I think the bleeding or cutting edge is Pitti, and then because so many buyers are there for traditional menswear, you see early stage adoption happening like from those buys that occur there. Did you see any new silhouettes? So not talking about like colors of palettes or trends, but like silhouettes, shapes, layering styles that caught you off guard or are gaining prevalence?
In menswear, especially in recent years, a lot of the conversation has been centered around pant leg widths and whether straight cuts or skinny are back or out of style. And I've had a conversation with a very tenured agent, and he said essentially that Pitti hasn't seen a trend in the last 10 years. Because
I think that's the soundbite right there. Pitti hasn't seen a trend in 10 years. Here's why.
And so his reasoning for it was that while you found a lot of editorial coverage about straight leg pants and like wider fits and more comfortable fits, commercially skinny jeans and skinny tailored trousers were still dominating. And so that period when a couple of brands who are like quick enough to react picked those more relaxed fits up is already over, because I don't think I've seen a single booth that had pants with a leg opening that was even remotely close to 8 inches. Even sort of the tailored casual suiting had very narrow and straight legs. And this means that we're going to be stuck with that as well. And you at some point had a very interesting take on this and why men, even if it might not look flattering on them, prefer skinny jeans over something that just drapes straight down.
Remind me my take on this and what?
Okay, that's why I dragged it out so much. I hope they would come to mind. Your point was essentially that men still prefer to show off their physique to some extent if they put any effort in this, and if they don't, they are inspired by the people who do put effort in this and consider this as sort of the arbiter of what's fashionable.
It's like the gym bro mentality.
Yes,
guys go to the gym thinking that when they swole that women will notice, and in fact only other men notice. So it's like any micro niche that men have, because it's so down the rabbit hole, only other let's call them enthusiasts also notice, right? For most consumers, I think there's a fair amount of desire to appeal to the opposite sex, right? And in general, although women's fashions might be drapey, I don't think that men's fashion that's also similarly draped is as attractive relative to the expectation of what a men's shape, physique, and wellness looks like, right? If health is in, and it very much still is, obviously, then we want to see a fairly masculine V, and clothes that impede that silhouette or shape, I think are limited, like a flare, right? Now, things like 90s Armani come back, because they still enforce an overhyped version of that V. But overly cropped things, overly baggy things that minimize that base or core silhouette are only ever, I think, the domain of, niche.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And so it's going to be interesting whether or not there is ever going to be a breakout trend anymore, because we live in a period of micro trends.
Yeah.
And it has been the case before everything was hyper connected online. You had those micro trends simply separated by geography, and then they bubbled up to the top and got adopted widely. This now just happens online much quicker and essentially the other way around, and dissipates then regionally. So you may live in a filter bubble that just hasn't been touched yet and will need another week to be informed by the latest summer sneaker or whatever prints, leopard prints, or the mafia, what was it, mob wife aesthetic that we had a year ago. So the
Quarter
zips, yeah, Nike Tech fleece we didn't see anywhere, sadly, but we saw a couple of 12-ply cashmere quarter zips that may not find the same adoption rate, but they're out there.
I do like to keep in mind, though, the actual wearability of the things, despite all the marketing, both at the, honestly, at the production level and the consumer level. But when we boarded this lovely vessel, you mentioned that, like, we're wearing things whose brand ethos idealizes some high-end lifestyle, and yet this is their most common wear case, right? Yes, you're in a lovely place, you're in Como, you're exploring Bellagio, it's beautiful, but you have to hop a ferry. So you're wearing Hettebretts, beautiful jacket, right? Really nice things, private white, super nice, leaning against a partially painted metal rail. So there's a certain amount of wearability that I'm interested in that I think honestly did begin to filter into premium luxury.
Yes.
I was super excited to see in the Cucinelli booth, for example, wax cottons with lamb shearling. Still elevated, still really nice, but I don't mind if it gets wet. I don't mind if it, gets misted off the boat. The price point still hurts a little bit, but the wearability certainly is there. I don't know if that's like a hemlines following the market sort of thing, but certainly I saw much more wearability in the booths this time than in years past, even if the colors weren't as ostentatious as I expected.
I would agree with this in principle. A lot of the material choices that brands made are no longer just the best fiber quality that's then woven or knitted into a garment, but something that has a technical component to it, whether that's the widely used storm system and rain system solution that Loro Piana offers, or the equivalent from VBC and other mills. There's always a component to garments now that enhances their durability while still offering that like pinnacle of raw material that's been consumed for it. And this will hopefully and eventually anyway drive consumers to no longer baby the items the way that they used to, at least not the ones who don't buy these items on a regular.
Yeah.
So meaning light buyers tend to save luxury garments for special occasions, which in some cases, when it's a particular dress that is simply not made to be worn a lot, is justified. But when you buy a coat, when you buy an ultra-fine sweater, things that are meant to be worn not just on occasion but on a daily, brands and suppliers seem to have picked up on the notion that enhancing durability will help with adoption and sales, and functionality is a big factor.